திருச்சிற்றம்பலம். புழியர்கோன் வெப்பொழித்த புகழியர்கோன் கடல் போற்றி, ஆழிமிசை கல்மிதப்பில் அணைந்த பிரான் அடி போற்றி, வாழி திரு நாவலூர் வன்றொண்டர் பதம் போற்றி, ஊழிமலி திருவாத உரர் திருத்தாள் போற்றி. திருச்சிற்றம்பலம். So today we are going to be discussing tiruñāṉasambandar's Thevaram Padigam 1.23 that he sang in a sthalam called tirukkōlakkā. So tirukkōlakkā is a sthalam which is adjacent to Sirgazhi. As you know, Sambandar was born in Sirgazhi, and when he was 3, he went to the temple tank with his father, and then father was having the bath and he was crying in the steps, and Shiva and Parvati came, gave him the milk, and he started singing Tododi Saviyan. That we know. Then after he finished that, father carried him into the temple, and then he sang the second padigam that we also have seen, meyn-niṟainda 1.74 that we saw. And then next day, or maybe in a couple of days later, they went to the neighboring village called Kolakka. Tirukkōlakkā is about maybe 2 kilometers or so from Sirgazhi. So it's a neighboring village, and there is a temple, and Sambandar went to that temple. His father carried him, right? Like a 3-year-old child will not walk for 2-3 kilometers. So the father carries him, and they go to the Kolakka temple, and then Sambandar was standing in front of Shiva there and started singing this padigam, madaiyil vāḻai pāya. And as he started singing, you know, these are all musical padigams, right? So he will keep the rhythm and the beat and all that. So he will be clapping his hands and keeping the time. You know, as you know how we sing, right? People, Carnatic musicians, they sit down and sing, so they use their right arm and they tap it on their thigh, and then they keep count. But if you're standing and singing, people don't tap on their thighs and sing, okay, for keeping time. They don't do that. So they clap their hands. So they clap both hands, and then they keep time, and then that's how they sing when they are standing. So Sambandar was standing in front of the Swami there, and in the Sannidhi, and he was singing. And as a 3-year-old child, you know, when you are singing, you know, the palms are very soft, and you know, Swami was feeling that, you know, Sambandar's hands would be hurting because of his, you know, clapping and singing. So with Shiva's grace, as he was singing the padigam, right? The padigam we know as 10 or 11 songs. So after he had sung maybe 1 or 2 songs, with Shiva's grace, talam comes into his hand. A talam is, as you know, in South Indian music, they have a small handheld cymbals like that you will, the devotional singers will be having in their hand. So that is called talam. Talam by definition means beat or and association. It refers to this instrument. And so he gets the talam, which has the panchaksharam embossed on it, right? The Namah Shivaya panchaksharam embossed on the talam, and it's a golden symbol. As you know, cymbals, the handheld cymbals, these are made with bronze, because the bronze is the one that gives very good sound. So they don't make cymbals with any other metal. You know, not even no brass, no copper. It's always bronze that has the best ringing sound. But because this is Shiva's grace, he gets golden cymbals. You know, as you know, gold looks very nice, beautiful, very valuable, beautiful, shiny, and all that. But gold is not the great thing for sound. Right? If you make cymbals with gold, it will not make good sound. But because this was Shiva's grace, that golden cymbals would also make very nice sound. So he gets that cymbal in his hand as he was singing, and Sambandar immediately realizes that it is Shiva's grace. So he puts that cymbals on his head and, you know, worships Shiva, and then continues his padigam and completes his padigam. So that is the background of this padigam. This padigam is a very nice short songs, and we will see them. So this is the background. So this is one of the, Sambandar sings many padigams over his, his life here on earth. And in these padigams, there are some padigams which are associated with great miracles, as we would call them, great events. For him, there is no miracle because it is Shiva's grace. There is no miracle in Shiva's grace. So Sambandar sings, Shiva grants it. That's it. So these are all Shiva's grace, and there are many such special episodes in Sambandar's life. Now we saw that the Thodudi Seven we have seen. He was crying on the footsteps of the tank, and then Shiva and Parvati come and give him the milk of knowledge. Like that, here he was clapping his hands and singing, and with Shiva's grace he gets this golden symbols. Like that, there are other episodes in his life where great things, great events have happened. We will see them as we go along. So, with that background, let's go to the padigam. And Madhuri, you can repeat with me the first song. Madaiyil, vāḻai, pāya.
Madaiyil, vāḻai,
pāya.
pāya.
Maḍarar.
Maḍarar.
Kudayum poigai.
Kudayum poigai.
Kōlakkā.
Kōlakkā.
Sadayum pirayum.
Sadayum pirayum.
Sambal pūchum kīl.
Sambal pūchum kīl.
Udayum konda.
Udayum konda.
Uruvam enkolo.
Uruvam enkolo.
Good. So that's as you can see, this song is a very short song compared to what other, like Thodudi Seven, we know that the lines are longer. Even meyn-niṛainda, the lines are longer. Whereas this song, very short lines. So what he is saying in this first song is describing the place, Kolakka. As you know from Sambandar's padigam, he will describe the place often. And he is describing Shiva's holy form. We talk of Shiva having, 3 eyes, a dark neck, and a dark throat, and all that, right? So he is describing some of the attributes of Shiva and says, what is the reason for this? This is like a rhetorical question he is asking. Yen means enna. Engolo is like wondering. What is the reason? Why? He is wondering. That is the meaning of that engolo. So in this verse, he is describing some of Shiva's attributes and says, why is he having such a form? As we know, Shiva's form, all the attributes have philosophical meanings. They are all symbols, right? Symbolic meanings there are there. Like whether he is holding fire, whether he is having a trident, whether he is having a battle axe, or whether he is having a dark throat, whether he is having 3 eyes, whether he is wearing a tiger skin, or whether he is wearing a snake around his neck, or a jata, or a moon, or Ganga. You name everything on Shiva's holy form. There are Puranic stories, and there are also symbolic meanings. So in this, he is describing some of them, and is wondering why. Of course, he knows why, but he is rhetorically, in a poetic way, he is wondering why. Now we will look at the words and meaning. Madaiyil, vāḻai, pāya, Maḍarar, Kudayum, poigai, Kōlakkā. So Kolakka is the name of the place, that village or the town, Kolakka. So in Tamil, the ka means garden or a grove, right? So that is the word for ka. So there are many salams that are ending with ka. Kolam means beautiful. So Kolakka, literally, if you analyze the word, Kolakka means beautiful garden or a beautiful grove. So that place is known as Kolakka because it must have had wonderful, nice gardens, and they have called it Kolakka. Now, like that, there are other places that have the word ka. Like there is a famous sthalam called Anaikka, commonly known as Tiruvaṇaikāval, that is in Tiruchirappalli. Tiruvaṇaikāval is a major kshetram. It's a huge temple. and it is one of the Panchabhuta Stalams for water. Like Kalahasti is for Vayu, Tiruvannamalai is for fire, Chidambaram is for space, Tiruvannaikkaval is for water. So in the Sannidhi, in Tiruvannaikkaval, there is always water in the Swami Sannidhi on the floor. That kind of a Stalam. So that's called Anaika, because an elephant worshipped Shiva there, and so that place is known as Anaika. Like that, there are other places that are known as Tirukkolikka, Tirukkōlakkā. So there are Ka is grove or garden. So he is saying Kolakka Ulan. Ulan means Ulan. He is there. The Swami who is dwelling in Kolakka. So he is going to talk about him. And the Kolakka, the first 1.5 lines is description of Kolakka. Madaiyil vāḻai pāya, Madharar kudayum poigai. There are two things he is describing. One is describing the fields around that village. That is talking about how there is plenty of water in Kolakka. Madai vāḻai pāya. Madai is the channel that carries water to the rice fields. Vāḻai is the name of a fish. You know, there are different kinds of fish that we have. So in vāḻai, kayal, sail, these are all some of the commonly referred to species of fish. So vāḻai is one of the fish varieties. So pāya means leaping or swimming. So madaiyil vāḻai pāya means in the channels that carry water to the fields, the fish are swimming. That means there is a plenty of water, and the water is coming fresh from the Kaveri river, right? Because the channel, the rivers, right? Because when you pump water from the well, first there won't be that much water, and then there won't be any fish in the hardly any fish in that temple. In a well water there won't be many fish. So this water is coming from the river through canals and channels and all that, and so the fish are swimming in that water. That means there is a lot of water in Kolakka, and there are fertile fields surrounding Kolakka. That is the implication of that word, Madaiyil vāḻai pāya. And that is one description. Another description is Madharar kudayum poigai. Madhar means women. Kudayum means to swim. Poigai means a pond or a tank. You know, in villages you will know that there are temple tanks will be there, and also there will be many ponds, natural ponds, where if it is big we call it a lake, but if it is a small water body we call it a pond. So there are ponds in Kolakka where the women are bathing. You know, as you know from Thiruvambavai discussions, and also as you know from village life in India. In those days, people would may have well in their house, but they also go to the river or a pond and take bath. So he is saying Madharar kudayum poigai. So there are a lot of ponds in which women are bathing. That means there's plenty of water in Kolakka. So in India, in the village life, water is a very essential commodity, and where there is plenty of water, there is a lot of agriculture happening. There is very rich farms and rich groves, and everything is rich, fertile. So people are prosperous. So there is a lot of food to eat, people are prosperous. So that describes the natural beauty of the place. So that is what this description is. Madaiyil vāḻai pāya, Madharar kudayum poigai. These two are there where in Kolakka. So in that Kolakka, Shiva is dwelling. Kolakka Ulan. Kolakka, Shiva is dwelling in that Kolakka. Ulan means he is dwelling. Now that Shiva, how is he? Right? This place is such a fertile place, rich place, But now we are looking at Shiva. How is he looking? Sadayum, Pirayum, Sambal Puchum, Kīl Udayum Konda Uruvam. Uruvam is a Tamil form of the Sanskrit word Rupam. So Rupam is holy form. And what kind of Rupam does he have? He has got a Sadai. Sadai is Jata, the matted locks. Pirai. Pirai is the crescent moon that is wearing on his matted locks. Sambal Puch. Sambal is ash. Puch is wearing on his body. Like Pusudal is to smear on one's body, apply on one's body on the surface. And Sambal is ash. So he has applied holy ash on his body. Sambal Puch. And he has got Kīl Udai. Kīl is the lion cloth, right? The purāṇam is the lion cloth. And surrounding that purāṇam is the Kīl. Kīl is the waist belt made with cloth. So Swami is here wearing Kīl Udai, wearing a lion cloth. So he is dwelling in this rich place, and he is a lord of everything. He is the master of the universe, and he has everything. But he is having this kind of a form where he has got a matted locks. He is wearing, instead of wearing a crown, right? People, rich kings and others, wear crowns with many jewels, with diamonds and other gems. But he is wearing a matted lock and a crescent moon on the matted lock. And instead of wearing sandalwood paste on one's body and other scented material on one's body, he is wearing holy ash. And instead of wearing royal clothing, instead of wearing nice clothing, he is wearing a lion cloth. So what is the reason why he is like this? What is the meaning of this form? That's what he is asking. Or rhetorically he is wondering. The Shiva who is dwelling in this fertile Kolakka, he is wearing lion cloth and he is wearing he is wearing the ash on his body, and he has got a matted locks, and he is wearing a crescent moon. What is the reason? Why is he like this? What is the meaning behind this form? That is the gist of this direct question. He doesn't answer the question. He just asks the question rhetorically. And of course we know that everything is symbolic. So Jata refers to wisdom and his ability and infinite ability and all that. And Pirai is a crescent moon. We know that that is a symbol of his grace, right? Because the moon was decaying and was about to totally go off, and it comes and falls at Shiva's feet, and Shiva blesses the moon and wears it on his top, so that the moon will live forever. So that's why the crescent moon symbolizes Shiva's infinite grace. Sambal Puch, we know he's wearing the holy ash, and that holy ash, we know that everything will end, and holy ash refers to the samharam. Everything is the universe, creation, sustenance and dissolution. So everything has been dissolved, and when everything has been reduced to ashes, Shiva is wearing that ash on his body. That means Shiva is the one who is eternal. So that's a symbol of that. And the Kīl Udai. Kīl Udai is the lion cloth. And again, these are all, as we know, these are all, the Vedas are the lion cloth. That's how we will see in some other verse. So the point is that these are all symbolic representations that we need to understand. So that is the gist of the first song. Any comments, questions? You can ask or say now. Okay. If not, maybe Mukti, you can read the whole verse.
Yeah. Madaiyil vāḻai pāya madaraar kudayum poigal-kōlakkā ulan sadayum pirayum sambal puchum கீழ் உடையும் கொண்ட உறவும் என் கோலோ.
Good. Then we will go to the second verse, and Chakravarti, you can repeat with me.
Sure.
பெண்தான் பாகமாக பிறை சென்னி கொண்டான் கோலக்காவு கோயிலா கண்டான் பாதம் கையால் கூப்பவே உண்டான் நஞ்சை உலகம் உய்யவே. Good. So again he is describing his form. What are the things he is wearing, what are the things that he did, and the fact that he ate the poison. He mentions all that. But in the first song he says, Uruvam Engolo. There was a rhetorical question. Here there is no question. Here he is making a statement and answering why of whatever he is going to say. So my guess, okay, in the sacred or in periya purāṇam says that he started singing this padigam, and as he started singing this padigam and he started clapping his hands and keeping beat and all that, with Shiva's grace, the golden symbols came into his hand. And then some other continued singing the padigam and completed the padigam. So the question is, when did he get the symbols in his hand? Again, this is an academic question, but it's a question. My thinking is this, that as soon as he completed the first song, Shiva must have given him that golden symbols. Because in the first song, his tone is describing Shiva's form and asks why. What is the reason for this? Whereas in the second song, he is describing Shiva's form, and instead of asking why, he is saying why he did that. He gives the reason also. And then in the third song onwards, it is all advice to the people. Worship Shiva, pray to Shiva, your problems will go away, your karma will go away, all that. The rest of it is all advice to the people. So my theory is that maybe at the end of the first song, or maybe at the end of the second song, he got the symbols. Just academic interest. So now we look at the meaning of the second song. He is describing Shiva's form. He is describing that he is Ardhanarishwara. He is describing that he is wearing a crescent moon, and he ate the poison to save the world. He is describing these three things. And he is dwelling in Kolakka. So we look at the phrases. Pendan Pagamaga. Pen is woman. Pagam or Bhagam is Sanskrit word Bhagam, part or a portion. Aga means becoming or having. So Pendan Bhagamaga means having a woman has one half. That is a phrase, Pendan Bhagamaga. So having a woman as one half. Pirai Chenni Kondan. Pirai, we have seen in the first verse also. Pirai is the crescent moon. Senni is head. Kondan means he is having. So he has woman as one half of his body, and he is wearing a crescent moon on his head. That is the meaning of the phrases Pendan Bhagamaga Pirai Chenni Kondan. And we know why Pirai Chenni Kondan. We talked about the first verse as a symbol of his grace. Kolakkavu Koyila Kandan. Kolakka is the name of the place. The Kolakkavu, the V comes here as a as a filler sound, right? In the sense that sometimes we have when in spoken language we add extra vowel in the end of the word. Like that, he is having Kolakka, he is calling it as Kolakkavu in this song. From the meter perspective, he wanted to have Kolakkavu, so he He put at that oo vowel extra. So Kolakkavu means Kolakka. Kolakkavu Koila Kandan. Koil is temple. Temple is where Shiva dwells, where Lord dwells. Kandan means he has. So the Shiva who has got one half as a female, Shiva who is wearing the moon on his head, that Shiva is dwelling in Kolakka as his temple. That's the meaning of Kolakkavu Koila Kandan. Now the next phrase, Padam kayyal kuppave undan nanjai. Padam, Sanskritam word. Kai is hands. Kupa means to folding. So Padam kayyal kuppave. The Devas, they worshipped Shiva's holy feet by folding their hands, in prayer. So we know that the churning of the Milky Ocean, because Devas wanted Amritam, so the Devas and Asuras got together, they churned the Milky Ocean. That's a big story, popular story, everybody knows it. And instead of Amritam, instead of divine nectar, what came out was deadly poison. That halahalam that came out, and that was burning, destroying everything. So it was so deadly poison that everybody ran for their lives. And it was spreading. It wasn't, it wasn't contained to a local area that, that poison is there. We can be safe here, To give a modern analogy, the coronavirus, it's only in China. We can be safe in America. That's the kind of thinking, right? That is not the case. Because that spreads everywhere. So the poison may have occurred there, but it spread all over and it affects everybody. Like that, the deadly poison spread everywhere. Devalokam, all the lokams, it spread out, and then everybody was afraid of their lives. So they worshipped Shiva's holy feet by folding their hands and prayed to Shiva. Padam kayyal kuppave. Then Shiva took pity on the Devas and listened to their prayers, and he ate the poison. Undan nanjai. Nanjai is poison. Undan means he ate. So he ate the poison. Undan nanjai. So in spoken Tamil, we say nanjai undan. But in poetry, the words can come in different order because of the meter. So undan nanjai means he ate the poison. And why did he eat the poison? Ulagam uyyave. Ulagam is lokam, the worlds. Uyya. Uyya means to escape. So the worlds were going to be destroyed by this deadly poison. In order for the worlds to be safe, in order for the worlds to escape the danger, he ate the poison. So Padam kayyal kuppave undan nanjai ulagam uyyave. So you can interpret it as this way. The Devas worship the holy feet with their hands. Padam kayyal kuppave nanjai undan ulagam uyya. So he ate the poison in order for the worlds to survive. So the first song, he was asking rhetorically, why is he wearing jata? Why is he having jata? Why is he wearing the moon? Why is he wearing the holy ash? Why is he wearing this loincloth dress? What is the reason for all this? He was rhetorically asking in the first song. The second song, he doesn't ask, why did he eat the poison? He is not asking that, because he describes why he ate the poison. Because the Devas worshipped him with their folded hands, and he ate the poison so that the world can survive. Ulagam uyyave nanjai undan. For the worlds to survive, he ate the poison. So he gives a reason also. So that's why I'm thinking that he got the symbols before the second song. Because the approach changed in the Padigam. If you have any questions or comments, we can talk now. If not, Rama, you can read the whole verse.
Pentan pagam aga piraichenni kondan kolakkavu koila kandan padam kayyal kuppave undan nanjai ulagam uyyave.
Good. So Murthy, you can read with me.
Yeah.
Punnal Purigol
Punnal Purigol
Aravam
Aravam
Punsadai
Punsadai
Konal Pirayan
Konal Pirayan
Kulagan
Kulagan
Kolakka Manappadi
Kolakka Manappadi
Marai-vallāṇaiye
Maḍaiyil
Pēna
Pēna
Parayum Pinigal Aanave.
Parayum Pinigal Aanave.
Good. So from this song onwards, this become Upadesam to the people. He is saying, you worship the Shiva in Kolakka, and if you worship him, your bandhams will be destroyed. Pini means, it stands for two things in Tamil. Pini means bandham, which is a tie, bondage and all that, that is bandham. But Pini also refers to the illnesses that we have, the physical illnesses, right? Whether you get, whether it's a fever, whether it is a stomachache, whether it's a headache, whatever afflicts our body, all that is called the Pini. So, when Pini, typically in Thevaram, we will refer to the bandham, the karma bandham. But it can also mean physical problems. So, now in this song, he is talking of Shiva's form again, describing Shiva's form. Poon nal porigol aravam. Shiva wears a snake as a garland. Shiva has a snake on his matted locks. He has a snake around his neck. He has a snake around his waist. So Shiva has snakes all over his body. So that is what he is referring to. Poon. Poon means abharanam, like a ornament. Nal porigol aravam. Aravam is a snake. And the snake has spots on its body. If you have seen the cobra, when it opens the hood and all that, you can see there will be a lot of spots on the hood. So pori means spot. Nal means nalla, means nice or beautiful, good looking, or good appearance or beautiful looking. So the snake, even though it's a deadly snake, it has got a beautiful body, a beautiful hood with a lot of specks on them, spots on them. And that snake is wearing as an ornament. So nal porigol aravam poon. So this snake, cobra, is his ornament. And then next description is Punsadai Konal Pirayan. Sadai is jata. Punsadai is this golden jata. Punnai is a reference to the color. Shiva's matted locks, they are not dark color, they are golden color. So that's why you will find in other Thevaram songs he will be referred to as having senjadai, red jata. So Punsadai, on the jata, he has got Konal Pirayan. Konal means a curved. Konal is crooked or curved. Pirai is crescent moon, that moon. So on his golden matted locks, he is wearing a curved, crooked moon. And Kulagan. Kulagan means youth. Someone who is young, someone who is good looking is called Kulagan. So Shiva is Kulagan because he is always young, right? Shiva does not age. He is beyond time. He is eternal. Because he is beyond time and eternal, he is always young. And we would have seen this in other Thevaram songs also. Not only Shiva young, anything associated with Shiva is also eternal and doesn't age. So the Vrishabham will be referred to as young bull. The cobra that is wearing will be called as young cobra, Ilanagam. The moon is wearing is called Ilamadi or Ilantingal, young moon. So anything he has got is young. They don't age. So he is Kuragan, he is always young. And that, where is he dwelling? He is dwelling in Kovalakkā. So that Shiva, the Shiva who is wearing cobra as his ornament, Shiva who is wearing a curved moon on his matted locks, Shiva who is always young and beautiful, that Shiva is dwelling in Kovalakkā. In that tirukkōlakkā, Manapadi. Padu means to sing. Manapadi means sing nicely, singing well. You know. So you sing the glory of Shiva in Kovalakkā nicely. And Marai Vallānaye Pēna. Marai is Vedam. This we will come across in many Thevaram songs. Vedam also will come. Vedam is a Sanskritam word. Equivalent Tamil word for Vedam is Marai. So Marai Vallānaye. Vallan means one who is a master or one who knows all the Vedas. Marai Vallan. Shiva is the singer of all the Vedas. So he knows all the Vedas. So he is referred as Marai Vallan here. So Marai Vallānaye Padi. Pēna. Pēna means to worship. Manapadi means singing nicely, well. And then Marai Vallānai Pēna. Worshipping the Lord who knows all the Vedas. And there is a ye in the end. Marai Vallānai ye. That ye comes for emphasis here. No, worshipping only that Shiva, right? Some people say, no, when you have a law, whatever is the Devam, right? You take the Devam, that form and say, no, hey, Shiva is my only Lord. I will worship him, and if I have anything, I will worship him and request him to solve my problem. So that kind of thing, whereas now, these days you see that in people, right? Somebody has a problem, they go to some astrologer and they say, oh, you have this dosham, you have that dosham. So you go to that temple and worship Shani in the temple, or you go to this temple and worship Rahu in this temple. So the people go to these temples and worship the Navagrahas instead of worshipping Shiva. So that is what is implying here. Marai Vallānaye, worshipping only Shiva. Marai Vallānaye Pēna. Parayum Pinigal Anave. Parayum means will be destroyed. Pinigal is your karma, your bondage, your bandhams, your attachments, your shackles, your illnesses, everything. So Parayum Pinigal Anave. All your problems will be destroyed. All your bandhams will be destroyed. All your difficulties will be destroyed. That kind of a thing. Bondages will be destroyed. So again, in this third verse, simple thing is describing Shiva wearing cobra, is describing Shiva wearing the crescent moon, is describing Shiva as always young, and he is saying Shiva is the knower of all the Vedas, and he is saying those devotees who worship that Shiva in Kovalakkā by singing his praises, their problems will be resolved. That is the gist of the third song. Any thoughts, comments, questions? We can talk. If not, I don't know who wants to repeat the whole verse.
I can go.
Okay.
I can repeat.
Okay. Good. Whoever wants to repeat, go ahead.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I'll go.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Onal, Origol, Aravam, Pon Sadai, Konal, Perayan, Kuligan, Kovalakkā,
Kuragan.
Koraga Kovalakkā, Manapodi, Marai, Vallānaye, Pēna, Parayum,
Parayum.
Pinigal, Parayum, parayum pinigal aanave.
Good. Again, as you get more exposure to this padigam and as you read and listen to the Oduvar singing, the words will become easier and familiar. So, what I say is that, with we have another 10 minutes or so. So, I can stop here for today's session and then we can listen to the Oduvar and then remaining songs we can continue on the next session.
Sure.
So the Oduvar singing I am going to play, this Oduvar, Dharmavara Swaminathan, he is going to sing a couple of lines from a previous, the periya purāṇam verses. If you look at the verse file, before this padigam, there are 2 or 3 periya purāṇam songs I have given. And this Oduvar is going to sing half of one song and full of another song on the 3 songs. So, and then he will go to the padigam. So this so that you are aware, so you can look at those lines as he sings. So with that, we will conclude today's session and we will meet again next week and continue the remaining songs. Tiruchitrambalam.